Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to the Aquarian Adepts, my platform, our platform to become your spiritual server. And welcome to the daily reading for today, Monday, October the 15th of 2018. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. I know it's been a few days since I made a daily. Venus retrograde has been kicking my ass, honestly. Albeit it's been, of course, mostly psychological, but I'm getting through it, I'm getting better, and I'm deciding to move forward regardless of all of these energies and sensations that I'm feeling. And undoubtedly, I'm sure you are feeling as well. So this is an intense and powerful time for all of us, but it's a time of great transformation, as you can even see by the cards that we have here for today. So let's get back into the swing of it. What's going on for today? Well, card-wise, we do have the card of death, and you have the Knight of Swords. Now, when I was drawing these cards, I had one card face down. I had the Death card face down, and I had pulled Desert Passage as the Oracle card. And then when I put down the other card, the Knight of Swords, I put it as a crossing energy. So these energies are kind of crossing each other. So we have Death, the energy of death and transformation, which is a card of Scorpio, mind you, being crossed by the energy of the Knight of Swords. And this is within the sponsorship of the Oracle card, Desert Passage, which comes from, I think it's what's it called? I think it's my Divine Traveler's Oracle card deck. So I think this is like pretty much perfect for what's happening right now. Today, astrologically, the moon is in Capricorn, which means that emotionally, we're going to be more concerned about, structure and how to build things and kind of connecting with people on that and worrying about our status and the way that we appear to others. The moon doesn't like to be in Capricorn. It would prefer to be in Cancer. It would be a little bit more, concerned about the home front and the foundation. But the moon in Capricorn, we're really going to be concerned about what people think about us today. And with this moon in Capricorn making the sextile over to Mercury and Venus, which will actually come to its conjunction today. The apex of this conjunction will happen today. But the moon will sextile these energies before at 8 degrees. And then in between, we get this conjunction of Mercury to Venus retrograde. Venus right now, which is retrograde in the sign of Scorpio, which is a lot of this energy that we've been feeling, this Venus retrograde that we've been talking about pretty much this whole year, and how intense it was going to be. Venus, which canonically represents love, of course, represents, how we are attracted to things, represents projects. It represents, in many ways, how we ground back to ourselves. And right now it's in Scorpio, which is dealing with matters of these deeper emotional currents, the psychology of who we are, the psyche, and all these other sensations. So trying to find a way of balance and integrating of these aspects, trying to find a way of harmonizing our psychological arena right now has been what's under scope and what we have been under review, how to really, feel secure, emotionally and psychologically. And now with Mercury, of course, speeding ahead, the planet of communication is going to make its conjunction with this spot in Scorpio, which rules death, but also rules transformation. I think today is really going to be a day where you can allow yourself to be haunted by what is passing away, what is done, what has fallen, what needs to be transformed. Today could be a day where you may allow yourself to be haunted by the ashes of your past. The ashes of past behaviors, the ashes of past dreams and hopes that didn't quite turn out the way that you wanted. And you may be haunted by these aspects. And I'm telling you that all of these ashes, there will be a phoenix that arises from that spot, but it requires you to be a little bit rebellious in your thought process. That's why the Knight of Swords comes up, crossing this energy. And this in many ways just represents Mercury in and of itself. And as far as the Oracle card, I think it's kind of perfect because with the Desert Passage card, we're saying that trust there's a divine plan. We can look out into the desert of life. Let's say like you come across a desert and you're being guided to cross the desert for enlightenment. that can seem like a death sentence. It really can be. But it only will seem that way if you really allow yourself to really attach to that current, to that thought current. Because if you attach yourself to that thought current that is an absolute death sentence, you going out into the desert of life, then you will be swept away. You will continually attract to yourself people, circumstances, and situations that support that thought, that support that limiting belief that you have developed within yourself. So this Mercury conjunct Venus, Mercury is really going to be reminding Venus that Venus is going to be frantic. Venus is going to be upset. Venus is like trying to fix things psychologically, trying to figure out all these emotions, trying to figure out like these deeper aspects of life, the securities, the insecurities. Venus is going to be like Mercury is going to walk into the house, and Venus is just going to have papers flying everywhere. Things are going to seem like a wreck. Like she forgot that she had food in the oven or on the stove. The pot's gonna be boiling over, and then it's also gonna be like that scene in crime shows where someone has like 20 pictures up and they have different lines going to each one, and she's like trying to crack the code. And Mercury, surprisingly, Mercury, the planet of communication, in many ways the trickster, is going to come to Venus and be like, whoa, it's okay. We can choose our thought process. Believe it or not, we actually have a power to choose our thought process. And what's going to be supporting this more is this moon in Capricorn, because even though emotionally, or at least we know that the moon doesn't necessarily like to be in Capricorn, but moon in Capricorn is able to actually, the good thing about moon in Capricorn is that even though emotionally there may be some unrest, this will actually allow us to see and feel more into the future. And if we choose to feel more into a hopeful future, if we choose to feel more into a future that is positive, that is enlightening, that actually there is a divine plan, and that is trust, we will be able to charge into this desert and we'll be okay. We'll find the oasis. We'll make it through. So yeah, sometimes in life there does seem to be death sentences. There does seem to be things that are cascaded out of our life that are over, but phoenixes can arise from those. And what happens when phoenixes arise from those ashes? They fly to you, they whisper in your ear, you gain the knowledge that was lost there, you regain a part of yourself, and you move on, and you transform. It's a beautiful form of alchemy, learning from these ashes that we leave in life, and really how to come from those areas and transform. That's why when it's happening in the moment, it doesn't seem like God is there, right? It doesn't seem like the universe is there. It doesn't seem like your guides are there when everything's falling apart. It doesn't even seem like it if you're scrounging through the rubble and stuff, looking for people. Sometimes it comes later. Sometimes you'll know why those things happened. They'll come in the weirdest moments where you actually are A-okay, and then you'll be reminded of that. The question is, will you allow yourself to be triggered and kind of put yourself back into that flow, or will you acknowledge that new sensation, appreciate it, and let it go about its way? And the other thing is that the moon is going to also sextile Neptune retrograde, which is in Pisces, but that won't happen until after the apex of the Mercury-Venus conjunction. So this is a great opportunity to where we're going to make a choice, on the confidence that we have in our own emotional strength, the confidence that we have in our own psychological and mental strength. We're going to make a decision on this, and then once the moon comes into the sextile with Neptune, this is going to begin that creation process of a new fantasy, of a new reality, because life is but a series of illusions. And if life is but a series of illusions, we might as well go for the illusions that make us feel the best, that make us feel the happiest, joy. And that may seem a little like, well, that just seems weird. If life is just a series of illusions, and I might as well just choose the ones that make me feel happy. What about realities? What about there not being illusions? What about reality? What if I want reality? Well, I think in reality, we are discovering what that is. And I don't think anyone of us really knows exactly what it is and how it's going to turn out, because reality is constantly changing. So today, remember that as you go out into the desert, that there is a divine plan, that you are being guided. Know that while things may come to an end and you may need to transform, you actually have the power to direct that voice. The Knight of Swords it wants you to, if you're haunted by these like thoughts and ideas and incantations that you aren't worthy, that you can't make it, that suck, this is a day where you really want to give yourself a pep talk and be like, fuck those thoughts. I'm not going to attach myself to those thoughts. I will appreciate them and let them go on their way, because that's not going to take me to the promised land. That's not going to bring me to the promised land thinking that way. You have a powerful choice today. You have an incredibly powerful choice today. And even if you look at the numbers, we have the night is going to be 1 plus 13 is 14. 1 plus 4 equals 5. And 5 is actually the number of Mercury. And 5 is also a number of freedom. Freedom, in many ways, expression, independence, but they can kind of go overboard with it too. So that's the thing that you have to be careful about. So it's not that Venus is not going to teach Mercury anything either. Venus is going to teach Mercury a lot of things during this as well. How to integrate these thoughts more on both sides of the spectrum. How to integrate and really have thoughts that you can appreciate and value. Like appreciating your thought process, and also clearing out your mind, clearing out your mind, and then putting thoughts in there that actually will bring you about that abundance, that actually will attract to you that life that you want to live. So there's going to be a lot of freedom today in the air. There always has been, but there's going to be a lot of freedom in the air and the vibe today. But there's also going to be this haunting of, if you go out and you go for it and you go into the desert and you go face that obstacle, if you take that path, and it's a lonely path when you go into the desert, but will you succumb to those thoughts that you won't make it? Or will you realize that you are free to experience what you want to in this experience? You are free. You really are. And you can choose to be happy. You can choose to move forward. You can choose to live. You can. That is it for your reading today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, I would appreciate it if you like, share, and subscribe. It helps more people see videos like this, because I want to be able to help as many people as possible. I really do. And whether my words reach one person or 10,000 people, I really just want to help other people, because that's why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because other people had the courage to reach out. I found their beacon. I was inspired, and I wanted to share what I wanted to say, because it's people like that really helped me through these dark times. We got to help each other through this dark time. We got to help each other, raise each other up. So please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you would like a personal reading with me, beloved, you're halfway through October. I am still running my sale all the way through into Halloween. I have percentages off all my services on my website. If you would like to take advantage of that, follow the link in the description below to the AquarianAdepts.com, and with that, I think it's going to be to the 17th. So for the next 3 days, I'm also running an additional promo off on top of my sale. So if you enter the code Squirrel Squad, you'll get an additional off your reading. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Can't wait to get to making some more videos for you all today. I did miss this. I really did. I love you all. Y'all take care. And always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward. Stay focused and Yahoo! Smile often.